5 must-know tips in selling honeymoons.
Yeah.
I remember a time when I was just getting to my desk and kind of getting myself organized for the day, looking through emails, that sort of thing. And phone rings. I have a honeymoon client calling me, panicking because of something they saw on social media.
Right.
And I don't want to say I remember exactly which situation it was, because so many situations have happened over the years, being in the industry for 15 years. But I think it was the time when somebody had some alcohol issue, and they thought it was like poison in
Like
Mexico
tainted.
or whatever, tainted or whatever. So they're calling me up. They're like panicking because they're going to be leaving soon for their honeymoon to Mexico. And I had not even heard of the situation yet.
Right.
And I was just like, obviously I don't want to allude to not knowing anything about it, not being aware of it, so however I had to work that conversation in and give them that peace of mind and let them know that I was going to do some further investigating and all of those different things, right? So these types of things are going to happen, right? Where there's like isolated incidents in locations that we're just like, if you don't see it in your social media feed, like you don't realize it, right? When there's big, huge international things happening, we all are aware. Everybody's aware. But when you have these isolated events happening at an all-inclusive resort or whatever, and you're not aware that it's happening, like you don't want to be caught off guard with that. I wanted to just share a few tips with you today of things that I feel like, as people who specialize in honeymoons, that we should be, and just in travel in general, really, you can apply this however you want to in your business, but that we should be aware of, that we should be proactive with, and that we should be making the call instead of receiving the call. Okay. It's so much better to be proactive and be the one to say, hey, just wanted you to know XYZ or whatever it is, versus you being the one picking up the phone, dealing with a couple, a client that is panicking, that is nervous, that is ready to say, I'm bailing, I'm switching, I'm doing whatever, I'm canceling, right? So these are tips to help you be the expert, to help you be worth every penny that your honeymoon couple pays to work with you. And so we're going to talk about,
of course, you guys are worth it.
Yes, how to be proactive as a travel advisor. So tip number 1 is knowing the best honeymoon packages and how to qualify for them.
That's
the
so
absolute
true.
Worst thing
that
could potentially happen is that you are not aware of this really amazing honeymoon package that a specific resort offers and how your client can qualify it. But qualify for it. Let's say it's like valued at, they say it's valued at $1,000, $900, whatever it is, like, and all they need to do is stay X amount of nights in a specific room category. Well, you decide to base their honeymoon package on the price, not realizing that if they just pay a few $100s more for the week in this a little bit higher level room, they would qualify for this honeymoon package. Then what happens? They discover that this honeymoon package exists and that they did not qualify for it, but they discover it late. They discover it 30 days out. There's no more rooms, whatever it might be. And, we need to be proactive. We need to understand the honeymoon packages available. We need to know how to qualify for them. And we need to be the ones that are educating our couples on, I am selecting this specific room category for you because it qualifies you for this whole thing, right? And yes, it's a little bit more than what you wanted to spend, however you need to say it, right? If that's the case. But it's going to be able to get you this. And then also the fine print on how you need to book it in order for them to receive it, right? Because every single company does things different when it comes to these honeymoon packages. So we need to be aware of the fine print on what it takes. Like if they've got to send in a copy of their wedding invitation or something to prove that they are actually celebrating their honeymoon within 30 days of their actual wedding day, whatever it is, we need to make sure that we know those things.
And this is so important, because this comes up a lot. And Tammy's bringing this up to you because this happens with her own clients. And Tami does stay up on top of that, but there have been, you know, new things change at resorts too, right? You can book a package and then they can come up with some new package and their clients find out about it. But that's an example. Now that is not a big a deal. Like when that's new, you just tell them, oh, that's something that just came out.
Right.
You know, I tried to see if you qualified for it, but you didn't. And most of you are going to know this as the resorts give you the information. But sometimes resorts put something out there and they don't tell you right away. But this is important. You should know that information because you don't want your clients bringing it to you. You want to be able to tell them and then let them have the choice, whether they want to spend more or not, because then you're looking out for their best interest. Hey, look, I know it's about $600 over budget, but man, you're going to get so much more.
Yeah, especially if you know when after having that consultation with them, you know that they want to do like a romantic candlelight dinner, or they want to do a couples massage, and those types of things are included or whatever in this honeymoon package. Like then you can just be like, hey, then you're not dishing out the money to do these things. They're going to be included. Side note tip. So extra bonus tip here.
Okay.
I think I've mentioned this before, but it's been a while. When I have any sort of like FIT booking, individual booking, like a honeymoon, and they have their deposit and then they have their final payment. Before they do their final payment, I always double check prices on the land portion, so that if it did decrease, then I can get them that new rate prior to them. Again, that's just an extra little bonus thing that you want to do to really show that you care, you're looking out for them. This is how we create those lifelong clients. Okay.
Absolutely.
Tip number 2 in being proactive in selling honeymoons is to know the best honeymoon suites and what makes them ideal for honeymooners. Here's the thing. The last thing you want, because all information is everywhere, is it not? Information is everywhere. And it's annoying / frustrating / when your client is the one who's like, what about this? What about this? I found this. I found that. And I found this. I found that. Right. And you're just like,
not the best enjoyable situation.
Right. Like, no, we need to be in charge here. We need to be the ones that are unveiling this amazing offer to our honeymooners that they didn't know existed. Right. So we need to know the best honeymoon suites, and we need to know why they're so great. And because we cannot hide behind this is the room I recommend. It's a junior suite, oceanfront, blah, blah, blah. Like, why do we recommend this? What makes this such a great place for them? Why should they choose this, right? When you think about what does a honeymoon couple need, whether they realize it or not, a honeymoon couple wants room service, right?
Absolutely.
You need to be like, there's going to be at least 1 or 2 times where you're going to just be like, I'm done. I just want to be here in the room, and we want to just order room service, and we want to stay in our pajamas, whatever, you know.
And the win-win-win would be if you can take what they shared in their consultation with you.
Right.
And not just what makes a great honeymoon, but also why it makes a great honeymoon suite for their particular personality.
Yes.
When you can really blend that, right? That's why you have the consultation. The consultation is to sell you to them, to hire you in a non-salesy way, but it also is truly there to gain information.
Right.
So that you can give them what they're looking for. So if you can do the win-win-win, where here's a suite, I recommend it because it's great with this, but you mentioned in your consultation that this is going to give you all of that and then some. Even
if it's over what they said their budget is, if you can present it to them and you just have to say, listen, I know that this is over budget, but it's like perfect. It's exactly what you're looking for. And I really hope that you can make this work. Like, and you know what I mean? Like, because people will pay for what they want.
People pay for what
they might in their mind think, oh, I only have $7,000-8,000 for my honeymoon. But if you find them exactly what they want for 10, they will figure out how to make that work. All right. Tip number 3 is having a curated list of recommended extras and activities in the destination or at the resort. Again,
love it.
We don't want to be the ones where the honeymoon couple feels like they are having to research and do all of this stuff in the, behind the scenes. Now, some couples, that's just their personality, right? You can't avoid it, but it's still better for you to proactively say, hey, when you're recommending a destination and you're putting all of this together, you're like, hey, there's some really cool things that you can do there and that I think that you guys would really like. For example, and then you list these out, right? The things that you think that they would enjoy doing, the must-see places. Like if you're going to go to Cabo, you got to go to blah, blah, blah. You got to see this. If you're going to go to Kauai, you've got to go check out this. You got to, right? So those are the things that people want from you. So we have to be proactive with that. We cannot sit back and think that we're just booking travel. Okay. We are not just booking travel. So we have to remember that we're always creating and curating an entire experience for people. And that includes the travel portion, right? Tip number 4 is regularly check travel alerts, including weather and state government travel advisories.
Right. That's one thing you never want your client to come to you and say, hey, I see there's an alert going on. You know, you should definitely be in the forefront with your clients. And again, this is a good topic for any of for your audience. Hey guys, just want to let you know the Transportation Administration has issued an alert for Aruba. You know, for whatever reason, right now they're finding that there are pieces of plastic floating around in the ocean. They are giving it, you know what I mean? Whatever, I just made it up, but you're trying to keep your audience informed, your clients informed, and that just makes them trust you even more.
Oh yeah. Travel.state.gov is where we want to go, right? So something that you can do, just make it part of your, just to make it part of your habit. Like when when people are getting ready to travel, right? We have all these different things that we do to prepare people for travel and to make sure that they know what to do to do any online forms for immigration, etc. Right? People want to be, again, they're working with a travel professional so that you can give them the tools and the resources that they wouldn't normally think about or have access to or know how to access. So make it a practice to regularly check out travel headlines.
Right.
If you are not the person for that, then have somebody on your team. Right. Make it a practice to regularly check travel headlines. Like we do have to be aware of what is going on. And then of course, sending your client entry protocols and tips to prepare for their trip before they ask for them. Before they're like, what do I need to do next? Should I be doing something? Is there something that you need to be proactive and you need to be giving them the next step and that information. So you've got to just put these processes and these protocols in place and how you're going to drip out this content and how you're going to send it. Like when you're sending the travel documents, you also let them know about entry protocols and you give them that link of what they need to do and what they need to fill out. I create Loom videos for my clients, and I will let them know, here's where you go. This is how you do it. And because now when you go to do your online check, well, before you can do your online check-in for your flight, which of course is just 24 hours beforehand, you can go in to your flight record and enter all of this information, travel ready stuff, right? So we don't want them having to deal with that 24 hours before they go. First of all, if they're honeymooners, that's like, they don't have time for that then. We need to be proactive and letting them know, like, you can fill out this travel ready stuff now. Here's how you do it. Here's your record locator for your flight. And then just sending that out and like kind of, so how I organize myself, of course, in my dashboard for my client CRM, I can always see upcoming trips, but I can make notes so that those come up prior to me seeing the upcoming trips, where I'm going to okay, this is my time where I'm going to make sure that I send them information on entry. I'm going to send them information on travel ready, blah, blah, blah. I list that kind of stuff out so that it pops up in my dashboard because I'm going to always be logging into my CRM and seeing what's happening. And then, so you can always make that something you do 2 weeks after, let's say 2 weeks after they do their final payment. And so when they do their final payment, you let them know in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be sending you information on X, Y, and Z. So be on the lookout for that, right? In a couple of weeks, you'll receive blah, blah, blah. As long as you're always communicating what's happening, this is what I mean by just being proactive in general, so that they're not drawing this out from you. You're the one that is leading the whole thing. And then this is how we create lifelong clients. Just remember, we're not just booking a honeymoon, right? This isn't about just booking travel. It's not just flights and a hotel and a transfer, right? We're planning honeymoons.
Absolutely.
We're planning experiences, and we're offering a high level of service. Today's couples are loyal. And if you can get this honeymoon thing right and just lavish them with your amazingness, you will have a lifelong client who is going to travel with you over and over and over again. We cannot think about these things as one and done. Oh, they're only going to do one honeymoon. So no, they're becoming your lifelong client, and you want to treat them from the get-go as if that is the case. Obviously, you know, none of this matters. None of what we talked about today matters if you're not attracting those clients, right? If you're not getting those in your front door, so to speak. So we do have a free resource called the Ultimate Checklist. It's to multiply your destination wedding leads, but it ultimately it's all the same as honeymoon leads, right?
And, you know, I encourage you, if you obviously, so brideattract.com is where you'd find that. Some of you already have it. Some of you don't.